And stretch your arms up in the air. But while you're stretching up, I want to see the fingertips get a little longer. So literally pull the fingertips out of the knuckles. I'd like you to root your feet into the floor so that you feel like, boom, there's the floor under my feet. And when you feel your feet press down, the thighs get stronger automatically. They just plug in. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to be doing some work. But let the upper body have a little more lightness to it. Like it's not so intense. Now make more room for your shoulders. Open the arms wider. Turn your pinky fingers toward the back of the room. So there's this inner rotation. So the upper inner bicep and the pinky fingers, they rotate like one unit. They rotate toward the back wall. Open the arms wide, lifting your eyes up. As you exhale, the arms are breathed. As you breathe out, the arms are being breathed down to your sides. Close your eyes. Taking a long, slow breath in, the arms go up. Taking a longer, slower exhalation, the arms just naturally let go. As soon as you let the breath go, the body says, oh, I'm letting go too. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, arms come down. Please take your hands right to your low back. Fingers can face down. And right away, just press your shoulder blades into the mid-spine. All the while, you feel the feet press down into the floor. So there's a little action there, and then it puts action in the thighs. Now squeeze the elbows. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. And keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. You're going to start to feel probably a burning sensation in the upper back and shoulders. So you just think, supporting my low back and squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And you should feel that, like right there. Good times, right? But you want to feel that. You want to feel that. If we struggle to breathe in the front, it's also because we're kind of knotted up in the upper mid-back. And the shoulders and the traps and the neck. So just go for it. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now drop your arms to your sides. Really good. On the inhale, arms reach. Now bring your palms to your heart. Bend your knees. Fold. Bring your fingertips to the floor. I'd like you to open your feet out kind of so the inner edges of your feet, guys, are off the mat. And I want you to turn the right toes out, and I want you to take a nice bend in your right knee. And your hands are on each side of your right foot. And I want you to just take a lunge. And while you're lunging, keep your left leg straight. Press through the outer edge of the left foot. Then I want you to walk your hands over to the left. Spin the toes of the left foot out and take a lunge. Now just do that again. Walk over. And walk over. And walk back to center. Now just toe heel your feet together, or toward each other, I should say, but please leave them hip width apart. Put a good bend in both knees. Take the right hand to catch the left elbow. The left hand meets the right. And all you're doing is just letting your arms dangle. But you're really, really supportive of your own elbow joints. And you're keeping the knees bent because it's going to relax any pulling on the low back and the hamstrings. Now let your head totally drop. Like give it up. It had to be up all day. Let it go. To come out of your head, to be so consumed in your thinking mind, you need space from that. So just drop your head. Like literally drop your skull and allow yourself, your hips, to sway from right to left. And the movement is slow. The movement is slow. You're letting your shoulders drop as far as what? Under your ears? No, just let him drop and just let him hang. But if I were you, Mary, I'd wrap your hands around the elbows just a little more here. So you really, it's about babying your joints because we've like overloaded our joints so much. So wrap your hands. Yeah. And just take a breath in and just go and let yourself rock side to side. Yeah. Oh, okay. And take a breath in. And take a breath out. And take a breath in. Our little buddy. And take a big breath out. Take an inhale and allow the exhale to drop the upper body like you just dropped a 500-pound suitcase. So it's like this. The breath goes like that. And the upper body will drop with it. Nice, Mary. Take a breath in, everybody. And just go. One more. Breath in. Place your palms on the floor, shoulder width apart. Please step back into a downward facing dog. So you walk your feet way, way back toward the back edge of your mat. And then Peggy, walk your hands a tiny bit more forward. Yeah, and let your head drop between your arms. So in your downward dog, it's about being in your legs, but you still have some weight in the upper body, but you don't want so much weight. So what you want to do is literally send your hips back. And if you send your hips back and you press the floor down and away from you, so literally just think, push my hips toward the back wall. Let my head drop. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all of it. On the inhale, lift up your hips and your heels of your feet. On the exhale, your exhale softens your heels toward the floor. Not so the feet are perfectly flat. You're not going for that. You're just trying to get a little length, that's all. In breath, hips and heels high. Big exhale, heels press gently toward the floor. Inhale, lift up the heels one more time. Exhale, heels toward the ground. Walk slowly, feet to your hands. With your feet together, bring your palms right to your shin bones and find a flat back. So the feet are together and the palms literally push against the shins, the upper shins or the knees, and it sends your butt back to the wall behind you. You tuck your chin in a little bit so the neck has length. Then just look down at the floor. Take an inhale. Slide your hands down. Slowly grab hold of your ankles. As you're breathing out, you fold in. Push down into the floor with the feet. On the inhale, arms go up over your head. Lift your gaze, look up, and while you're looking up, stay in your feet. Press them into the floor. Out breath, folding in. In breath, palms to the shins or knees, finding a flat back. If you bring your hands a little higher, Patty, up your legs, that's going to really just create, if you bring them up just a little higher, yeah, because you're short like me, but that's going to create a flat spine. When you have them down here, the tendency is you're going to have a bubble of rounding in the upper back. Does that make sense? Now draw the shoulders down from your ears. Literally think like shoulders like this, literally down. Now you're going to get some more room. Yes, that's great. Yes. We'll be in these poses a lot. That's why in this beginner class, with you guys being brand new, we're breaking this down. And it's always a great refresher for each and every one of us, even me. Fold forward. Empty all your air to get you to fold in. Bend your knees as much as you want. On the inhale, all the way up. On the exhalation, bow forward. Take a long, slow, easy breath in. Halfway lift. Palms on the knees and shins. Yep, and it's going to lift your chest. That's it. So I could just put that water bottle right there, perfectly flat. It'd hang out there because you've got that flat line. That's what you want. Fold forward one more time. Place your palms on the floor, hip width apart. Please step back, everybody, on your knees. On your knees, but your hands, palms spread out, fingers spread out, and the shoulders are right over your wrists. You're going to slide your knees back a little bit, and you're going to tilt your butt towards your feet. So instead of your butt sticking up, tilt it down. You're going to look forward. Take a breath in. Rock forward. Breathe out. Bend your elbows toward the sides, lower halfway, or just let your belly land on the floor. That's it. That's it. Yep, exactly. Use your inhale to come up into an up facing, and if you feel like, well, that's just too intense for this evening, you have the option to come onto the forearms. And everyone do this. Come onto the forearms, palms and fingers spread out, shoulder width apart. Bring your forehead to the floor. Get all your air out. Use your breath in to peel your chest off the ground. Use your breath out to come down. Slide your hands back alongside your ribs. Push into your hands and come right back up onto your knees. And we're going to break this down again. All you're really going to do is rock forward on the knees. When you rock forward on the knees, it brings your chest right through your arms. And from there, you're just lowering. So just think, I rock forward on my knees. Yeah, and then I bend my elbows and I lower. Nice. That's excellent, you guys. In breath, upward dog. The tops of the feet are on the ground. Shoulders come back. Curl the toes under. Push back, down dog. Long, slow breath in. Clear it all out. Look between your hands. Don't breathe in. Just walk. Feet to your hands. Find a flat back. In breath there. Empty out. Fold. Press your feet into the floor. Rise up. Pull the hands to the heart as you're exhaling. Chest right into your thighs. Head drops down. In breath. Halfway up. Out breath, hands plant to the floor, and you step back onto your knees with the tailbone down or with legs straight. Take a breath in and rock forward on the knees or on the balls of the feet. Empty everything you have, lower. Take an inhale where you are in half cobra or up dog. Curl the toes under, pull strongly back to down dog. Your head drops between your arms. You've got your feet hip width apart. And is your mat slippery at all? No. That's okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Taking a breath in. Use all your exhalation out. The purpose of your breathing is to breathe out here. Now walk, feet to your hands. However long it takes you to get up there, that's all progress. Come back up, front edge of your mat, in breath. Forward fold. In breath all the way up. Forward fold. Halfway lift, breath in. Empty the breath out. Place the hands to the floor. Step back. High push-up. Breathe in. Lower down. Empty out. Upward dog. Breathe in. Press back as you breathe out. In with the breath. Out with the breath. Are you slipping? No. Okay. Do you need, Patty, do you need an extra mat over your mat? Will that cushion your knees? That's what I was thinking. You're welcome. Because otherwise you're just going to be miserable. And you'll want out of the room. Yeah, okay. So everybody rock forward into a high push-up. Shoulders over the wrists. Look forward, breathe in. So rock forward on the balls of the feet, or if you're on your knees, you're rocking forward on the knees. Upward facing, in with the breath because the chest is open. Out breath, downward facing because you've closed off the lungs, so to speak. Walk feet to your hands. Slow breath in, halfway lift. Forward fold, empty out. Push your feet into the ground, rise all the way up. Pull the palms to the heart, out breath. Okay. In breath, arms reach. Out breath, forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Halfway up, breathe in. Hands to the floor. On the knees or feet and legs straight. And then take a breath in, rock forward. Use your exhale now to lower you. Breathe out when you lower. Breathe in when you lift halfway. Breathe out to pull back. Take a breath in. And when you breathe out, push your hips far away from your shoulder blades. So literally send your hips and thighs to the back wall. Breath in one more time. Empty everything you got. Look forward. Step slowly, feet to your hands. Flat back, breath in. Forward fold, exhale. Rise all the way up. Pull the palms right to the heart as you empty the breath out. Shoulders back. Good. Feet together at the front edge of your mat. So if you're not the front edge, just step right up to the front edge. And then just bend your knees. And then send your butt back. Like if you were trying to stick your butt to the wall behind you and the arms reach. And if you need more room between the shoulders, I want you to widen the arms. Spread the palms, spread the fingers. Look on one thing in front of you, eye level. So your eyes beam them direct line right across the room at something eye level. Go back into your breathing. Now shift the weight back into the heels of your feet so your toes lift up off the floor. That's it, Mary, that's it. Use your exhale to sit your butt down just a little lower. Use your inhale to stretch the torso and the arms straight up. Hands to the heart, forward fold, empty the breath out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Use your exhale to get back to another high plank. Lower down, but remember rocking forward to get the chest through the arms. And in breath, half cobra or up dog. In up dog, pause. And if you're in up dog with the chest lifted, walk your hands just a little bit more toward the hips, your own hips. It's as if you're trying to pull your heart and your hips toward the front of the room while your shoulders move to the back of the room. Nice, Kathy. Downward dog, everybody. Curl the toes under, press way back. Taking your right foot, step it forward. Turn your back foot flat. Bring your hands to your hips. With your hands on your hips, you want to press your chest right onto your thighs. It's a nice rest area. Look at your right big toe. Press your right knee. Press it toward the pinky toe side of the foot. That'll start opening up the hip. Feel the back leg press really, like squeeze it strong, and feel the back foot root into the floor. Keep your hands on both hips, guys. Press your feet into the floor. Bring yourself up to stand. Take your arms out in front of you, shoulder level. Hug your shoulder blades back into their sockets. Literally draw the shoulder heads back in, as opposed to this overreach thing that we can all do. So literally pull back in, then the arms go up. You're taking your right knee forward, so just press your own right knee forward. Press it to the little toe edge. Use your breath in to get longer through the sideways. Use your exhale to bring hands to the heart. Get yourself back on the floor. Step back. High push-up on the knees or straight legs. Rock forward. Empty the breath. Press the palms to the floor. The chest will lift taller because you press the palms straight down. Curl the toes under. Pull back. Down dog. Breath out. Left foot. Take your ankle if you need to and plunk it up there. Turn the back foot flat on the floor. Bring your hands to your hips. Rest your chest on your front thigh. Look at your left big toe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel the back leg get really, really strong. Just squeeze the muscle. There's muscle there, and push into the feet. And if you press the feet into the floor, it takes so much pressure off the spine. It takes the load off the spine, which is just truly one big joint. So press your feet into the floor and rise up. Find that action again of the shoulder heads drawing back into their sockets, and from there the arms go up. The palms spread, the fingers widen. Take a breath in. Empty the breath, hands to the heart. Hands to the floor. Bring your knees down if you need to. Lower, just rock forward and then lower. In with the breath, upward. Out, breath, downward. Breathe it in. Let it all go free. Bend your right knee, plunk it forward again. Turn your back foot flat again. Inhale up to stand. Open now into warrior two. So your heart and hips are opening to the left side of the room, and the arms lengthen over the legs. You're tall. Step into. Like really take your seat in your own body. Like really take up space in your own body. And you fill up the body with breath. It's you taking up some space. Not all the space in the room, just the space with your name on it. Everyone take your shoulders down by taking your arms a little lower. See how that lowered your shoulders? Yeah. Now, you want to look at your right middle finger. And you want to lengthen these fingers. And at the same time, you want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Yeah. But with the arms a little lower, the shoulders relax. And then the breathing says, oh, I don't have to work so hard. Because this is putting you kind of in a little mild crisis energy. Little bit. Okay. Now flip the right palm, everybody, to look up. Look to your own palm. Look to your own thumb. Breath out. Take your right elbow to your front thigh. Your whole right forearm, actually, on the thigh. Your right butt cheek's going to be sticking out like a speed bump. You want to peel the right hip back in. So the knee and the hip are more, your knee and hip are more in line. Open the chest. Left arm is going to reach. Then the upper arm is going to stretch as far as it can over your head. And if you press the outer edge of the back foot, like it's against the back wall, and you recognize if I press right into my foot, yes, you can go back to where you were and you get all that awesome length through here. But then the fingertips say, hey, I want that. And you breathe out, you're going to take the upper arm, wrap it around your back. You're going to take a breath in. And when you breathe out, it's the exhale that's going to peel open and peel back that upper shoulder. That's it, Peggy, yes. Take a breath in. Lift out of this shoulder a little. That's it. And roll this open. Breathe out. One more. Inhale where the sternum will stretch toward the chin. Nice. Out breath. Open the mouth. Let the air pass through and the upper body lets go a little bit. Release. Hands to the floor. High push up. Lower down. Breathe out though when you lower. Upward dog. Breath in. Either lift halfway or into a full up dog. Downward facing. Hips back. Head drops. Still work in the upper body, but a majority of the work is in the legs. Take your left foot stepping forward. Turn your back foot flat. Press your feet into the floor to rise on up. The arms go up. Hug the shoulders down. Good. Take one more breath in where you feel like the back of your heart got a little bit lifted. And when you breathe out, everybody, you're opening into Warrior 2 so that your heart and hips face the right side of the room. So you're going to take a look at your front foot. You're going to step it over here a little more. Yeah, the heel too. Yeah, so it's like front foot at 12 o'clock. Okay. Outer edge of the back foot, the border, pressing like it's against the wall. Then you're really, really firm in this leg, yeah? Yep. Okay. And you want to press the left knee forward, but then because the hip is tight, it's always going to buckle in. So if you check this out, you're going to really know this. When your knee's buckling in, it's because the hip is tight. So everybody, you're going to coax your left knee open toward the pinky toe edge of your foot. Now do you feel you got more room? Okay. Now really come into the arms. Take the arms a little lower. Take them down a notch. Feel the shoulder blades hug to the mid-spine. Notice how that opened up your chest. And like, wow, I've got room to breathe. Like, go figure. Now take your left arm and you're going to reverse your warrior. When you breathe in, you get lots of length. And when you breathe out, you can bend back. And you'll breathe in and all this will get lifted. It's like the perfect wonder bra, the lift and separate. Jim doesn't know anything I'm talking about. But there's... Huh? But the lift and separate, I mean, there's something to that. And so lift, and then you'll feel everything get separated. Now use your exhalation to take your left forearm right to your front thigh. Okay, look up here. There's a tendency all the time to do this. And it's like, why wouldn't we? It's tiresome. We just held Warrior 2 for like 2 hours. But no, what's happening is you're dumping into the shoulder joint. Okay, it's too much. So we need to learn by seeing and feeling our body what it is to get lifted out of the shoulder joint. So yeah. Now go back to your old way. Yeah, feel how sluggish? This energy is sluggish. This is more active, but you can breathe. You have room. This isn't all folded in. So now inhale, arm up. Now please stretch your arm right over your head and go to the outer edge of your back foot and just give it a little press, like it's pressing into the back wall. And nod if you feel like, wow, that action in my back foot really got me a little more length through the side body or through the hip, the upper hip maybe. Now bend your front knee, press it open to the little toe edge. Nice. Now exhale the upper arm, wrap it around your back. Now, take the left palm fully to the thigh now. So that gave you a big lift. Like, wow, you got a lot of, view there now. Like bird's eye view. Now just keep this arm wrapped around. And you want to wrap the arm around the back in a comfortable way. You're not being cuffed and stuffed. You want to really think like my inhale is to lengthen my spine. And the out breath peels my upper lung and shoulder back. Yeah. Like, I've said this a few times. If you could take like a heavy overcoat and use your exhalation to just roll and just kind of knock that overcoat off that shoulder. It's an amazing chest, shoulder, and lung opener. Release. Hands to the floor. High plank. Low plank. Upward. Downward. Lift your heels really high. Use your exhalation to drop. Let the heels drop. Just breathe out and the heels say, oh, I'm letting down too. Take one more breath in. Heels really high. Exhale them toward the floor. Not on the floor, just toward the direction. Walk, feet to your hands. Halfway up, breath in. Fold forward, empty. All the way up with the breath, leading and lifting you. And the arms, use the out breath, take the arms to the sides. Very good. Sweep up. Eagle. You're going to take the arms out to shoulder level. As if you had your hands in a stop gesture. And you're then going to wrap the right arm underneath the left. So you're literally just crossing right arm under. And if this was too much for the shoulders, you could just take opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Or you can take the arms in front of your face. You're going to lift your elbows up so they're in line with your shoulders and press the shoulders back. Now you might just work on this tonight, and that might be golden. That might be plenty. Or you can take the right leg up and over. You could rest the toes of the right foot on the ground outside the left. Take all your exhale to bend your bottom knee. Use your breath in to sweep up. Left side. Finding if you have hands to shoulders, you're still pressing the elbows a little bit away from your face. What that's going to do is it's going to open up the whole rhomboid area in the mid-back. Have space. Or, there you go. And when you have the arms straight, you're lifting the elbows up, and you lift your hands up just a little higher. Nice, Mary. And then left leg can cross over, or you bring the left foot. This is awesome too. You have the block nearby, you can just do this. It's like, oh, you can hang out there all day now. Really, sweep up. Let's do it again. Eyes all eye level in front of you. Right leg up and over. Right arm under. Breathing stays with you. Breathing in easy, no pressure, nothing to prove. Man, if we feel like, oh, I have nothing to prove and I don't have to impress and I can just be me, like, we'll just breathe easy, period. Really sweep up. Left side, wrap it up. Or if you wanted to just work on strengthening the lower body, you can just bring hands to hips, wrap the elbows in toward your body, and squeeze the left thigh on top. Breathe. The breathing is quieting the mind. If the breathing quiets the mind, the ability to concentrate on the physical pose you're in, that much easier. So just breathe, and that's your yoga. It's not the pose. If you do the pose and hold the breath, no real benefit, and you'll be struggling to stay in the pose. You'll be all over the place. Get the breathing to settle and still the mind. The body can be more still in what it's doing. Nice work. Sweep up. Pull the hands right to the heart. Take the hands to the low back again, palms down, hands shoulder width apart. Wrap the elbows and shoulder blades in toward each other and really give that good squeeze. Just think, my shoulders pressed toward middle, my arms and elbows pressed toward each other. And can you drop the shoulders down? Yeah. Now squeeze, 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 squeeze as much as you can. Just do what your body can do. That's all you need to do, ever. Now release. Really, really good. Okay. Bring your hands to your hips. And you have an option if you're near a wall, or literally get off your mat and go to a wall. But you could take your hand on the wall and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Or the beam. Perfect. Bend your left knee. And start to sit your butt down. You want to flex this foot, and when you flex the foot, it's as if you're going to push this foot into a wall. You're going to feel it even more in that outer hip. But you'll feel it where your body is actually like, here's where it's really at. Yeah. And then sit your butt back, but down. Lift your chest up. Yes. And breathe. Okay. Release the foot. Mary has a way of speaking for everybody, and they didn't even tell her what to say. Okay, left side. You can go to a wall, or you bring your hands to your own hips. You find something to look at eye level, because if you're looking down, you'll go right down. The spine stays tall, so the chest stays lifted. Your butt keeps sinking. Your hips keep sitting back. The more you sit back, the more you're going to feel it. So the deeper you go, the more important it is to breathe. Come on up. Really good. Right side. Again. Huh? Sit your keister down toward the floor, but back. So that bottom knee, Kathy, lines up. That's it. Flex that top foot there, bud. There you go. There you go. Now, if it was possible, you would just take your hands off the wall, like, look, Ma, no hands. And you would bring your fingertips to the floor. And you keep sitting your butt back. Bring your right hand to your right knee. Press it down a little bit. Bring yourself on up. Very good. Other side. Left side. Get back into the breathing. Get back into the breathing. If the breathing is fluid, the mind says, all right, I'll humor you and I'll do the damn pose. If there is no breath, it's because you start to go into panic. You start to feel how tight you are, and you'll start to get really resistant really quick, which will actually create more pain. There's an absolute distinction, guys, between true pain and panic. But when we feel how pain, like sore we are, tight we are, we get a little edgy when we have to be in that and hold that. That's just par for the course, that discomfort to arise. We don't really want to go towards our tension in our body or otherwise. But that's how you heal it. And your back will feel better. You open up the hips, the shoulders feel better, the back feels better, the legs feel better, and you have more connection to the ground. Bring yourself on up. Good work. Okay, tree pose. Right foot, right where you are, to the inner left ankle with the right foot on the floor. Hands on the hips, shoulders back. Or you could take the right foot a little higher to the inner shin, inner calf. Or you could try something out and then fall out of the pose and go, okay, I'm not there yet. And so you work with what shows up this evening. Interlace your fingers, everybody. And just real simple, press your arms straight right over your head. Get right into the shoulder blades, hug them in. Use your inhale to really just iron out the sides. that get so compressed from sitting, sitting, sitting. And then the breathing gets really compressed. Release. Come out of the pose. Left side. Eyes eye level. Full breath in or out. And you just have your shoulders back. Just stand nice and tall and proud. Listen to your breathing. Let it come in and let it move through you. Kind of like it's cleaning house. Like your interior house. Now just take your arms into a wide V. And if you wanted to, you just lift your gaze and look up. And if you fell, no one would care. That's why it's called practice. It's not a yoga perfect, it's a practice. In fact, let yourself start to fall out of the pose. Let yourself mess it all up. We're so afraid to mess things up. I come from a family where it's like, no, you walk the line or get out. And this is a perfect place for you to really just fumble in a way that's like, wow, that's just part of being a human, on the yoga mat or off. Sweep up. Forward fold. In breath halfway. Use your exhalation, everyone, to step back to a plank position. Rock forward and exhale out, lower. Upward dog. Downward dog. Gently take your knees to the floor. And if I were you, I would take the front edge of your mat, I'd fold it over like 3-4 times. Nice padding. So your knees feel the love, because you need your knees. And this is a great practice that will continue to strengthen our parts, because we need them. Okay, so cushioning up the mat. You're going to stand right up on your knees. You're going to bring your hands to your low back. You're going to tilt your tailbone down. And then you're purposely going to stick your butt way out to the wall behind you. That's perfect, Kathy. Now, if you were to bend back, that would just suck for your low back. So you want to stand up tall on your knees. You want to feel your tailbone tilt down. Now, really, truly, fully support your low back and your hips. And then use your palms to gently guide the hips and thighs forward. Lots of lifting up in the upper body, like you're lifting your heart to the ceiling. Don't worry about how far you bend back. Keep the lifting up. Then the exhale softens you into a little back bend. If it felt okay, you could let your head go back. If it doesn't, keep your chin right to your chest and look straight ahead. Otherwise, let yourself go. There's some control in the breath, and there's also a willingness to not be in control of the exhalation. And it'll take you, your body can take you so much further than your mind would have ever allowed you to believe. Literally. Bring yourself on up. And make your way out onto your back. Onto your back, feet hip width apart. And take the blocks. Take one block or two. It'll be up to you. At least take one. And you're going to have the block the long way, horizontal. You're going to lift up your hips. And you're going to put the block. So it's a supported bridge. Yeah. Literally right underneath your low back. Can you turn it? Yeah, turn it, turn it. Yes, very good. So you want to turn it so it's literally like that, as opposed to flat. Lift up a little bit more. But you gotta find where it's comfortable. Is that okay? Okay. Rest your hands on your lower belly the way you started and close your eyes. Does everyone feel like, okay, it's comfortable? Yeah? No? Okay, good. Thumbs up. Good. Good. Is it comfortable? For your low back, like, is it not like jamming? It's okay? So that your whole body can just sink into it. That's what you want. You want your lower body to be able to sink into, or your hips and low back at least. And just breathe. Just breathe. And let your block support you. Let your block support you. For the new ladies tonight, I'll share with you that you couldn't have picked a better group to take your first yoga class with. What's amazing about the 3 people you're in the room with is that they haven't been practicing yoga with me all that long. And yet, because they keep showing up, they keep building strength, they keep building quickly, but they learn how to breathe fully. And they've overcome challenges just by being willing to do some work. If you do a little work, your body will really pay it forward to you in moving you towards more optimal well-being, mind, body, emotional body, spirit. So truly, like if I was brand new in yoga again, which I'd never want to go back to that, but if I was, like, these 3 would be the people to handpick to take a class with. And what I say about the new people to the 3 of you is that it's really fantastic to have beginners in the class because they usually are self-conscious, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to keep up. But when we have beginners in the room, it makes us all beginners again. And you guys are in a beginner's class every Mondays and Wednesdays, but you guys have built and grown so quickly through this practice that you really moved yourself into all levels. So that I teach to who's in the room. But for us to all be able to have beginners in the room to remind us to keep it simple. Not just our, and to keep it simple, keep our practice simple. Yoga's gotten so fancy and so expansive, from the yoga fashion apparel to the articles of the anatomy of a pose, in a way that it makes you more confused than when you first start looking for answers. To remind yourself, keep it simple. Breath, alignment, eye gaze, and just feeling what it is to move your body and create healthy space in areas where it's not had some space, therefore breathing room. It's so humbling to come back to the beginning. And so for the beginners, these guys are showing you what's possible for you just because they kept showing up. And for you guys, recognizing to keep the humility of this practice by keeping it simple. By keeping it with hands and feet on the ground or feet on the ground. moving the body according to breath, all of that. And also, beginners in the room, really embody what it is to try out something we haven't also done before. So you get better at yoga as you remove tightness, tension. You get more flexible because you release the muscular tension. That's really all that is. But I want yoga to also keep you growing in a really humble way, to say, you know what, I've never tried this either. Why don't I give that a shot? If not now, when? Deep breath in. Take the block out as you exhale your hips back to the floor. Good. Take another breath in. Open the mouth, clear the space. Press your feet into the floor and send your hips and thighs to the ceiling. Remember to iron out your low back. Take your hands underneath you. Interlace your fingers if you choose underneath your back on your mat. Or just literally lean to one shoulder, walk one shoulder down from your earlobe and then in toward the middle of your back. And then the other. And automatically it just opens up your whole front body. Exhale to the floor. Long inhale. Longer exhalation. Set it up again for bridge. Feet hip width. They press into the floor. That gets the hips off the ground a little bit. Lengthen your low back. Interlace your fingers. And press your thighs toward each other. Not so they touch, but so you feel like, yep, they're working for me. They're working for me. This is a whole body practice, and you want to work every part and overwork nothing. So it's more, the weight's more evenly distributed. Empty the breath all the way to the floor. You come down. In with the breath. Out with it. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Right foot is flexed. See, whenever you flex the foot, it's going to emphasize greater stability to the knee joint. Press your bottom foot into the floor if you can. Make sure it's directly under your knee. That's excellent, Peggy. Set up your alignment, and then press your hips up toward the ceiling as you press the right knee and thigh toward the floor a little bit. Nice. Nice, you guys. Breathe, though. Breathe. In, and then let it go. Free. Now come down, uncross. Let yourself down. Switch sides. Press the hips up by pushing the bottom foot down into the floor. Your knee's great. Just down. Down. Yeah. Flex. Ah, there you go. And come down. Okay, cross your right ankle over your knee again. Hug your left leg. Hug your left leg towards you. Please interlace your fingers under your left thigh or over your left knee or shin. As you draw the left leg towards you, breathe out and press the right elbow against the right leg to press it away from the right hip. Does that make sense to everybody, by the way? Now flex both feet, guys. As you breathe out, you hug the leg towards you. The left leg, and the right leg presses away. As you breathe in, there'll be a little space between the chest and the thigh. And as you breathe out, you pull it towards you, pressing the right leg away from you a little bit. You don't have to undo your knots, your tightness, your stiffness, your soreness all at once. Even just a little room around your tension can have you walk out of here feeling just hopeful, like there's something new possible. And you start to slowly break out. Release, switch sides, please. Flex the feet. Good. Draw that right leg up. As you're exhaling, you're gently using the left elbow to nudge the left leg away from you. So the knee and thigh nudges just slightly away from that left hip. Close your eyes and bring your focus inward towards how your body feels, and keep softening through the exhalation. Really awesome. Take another breath in. Let go. Let go of all the breath. If you want to release the physical tension, you have to release the breath. You have to. Uncross. Okay, roll all the way to your right side again. Press your hands to the floor. Come on up to seated. We're almost done. What we're going to do is you're going to bring your feet flat. And you're going to bring your knees together as close as you can. You're going to wrap the right arm across the shins. You're going to sit up tall, lots of length. So literally push your butt into the floor, and that lifted your spine. Now, take your left fingers to the floor behind you. You want to press your right butt cheek forward. And from there, you breathe out to softly twist. Close your eyes. Pay attention to the inhale, lengthening, and you're making your spine straighter. Like the spine craves a long breath in. It literally straightens it out. And the exhalation is when you twist. Only twist on the breath out. When you rock the right butt cheek forward, it allows you to really get the twist to happen in the middle back where you need it, rather than using the pelvis to help twist the spine. You want to twist the spine where it won't budge. You have to exhale the breath there. Press your seat down into the ground and you'll get tall. And then you take the exhale to facilitate a twist for you. Come on back. Right fingers to the floor. Press your hips down. Lots of length. Empty the breath. Open the mouth wide. Let all the breath pass through you. Notice it takes your body into a greater twist. Not that you forced and yanked, but just allowed. You didn't make shit happen, you just allowed it to happen. And somehow the shift will happen. Come on back. Legs out in front of you. Really reach on the inhale though. Reach up tall. Decide if you need to open your legs wider, bend your knees, whatever. To make yourself more comfortable and give your pelvis some room, do what you need to do. And use your breath out to fold you. Grab onto whatever you can comfortably reach. Pull the toes back though. Your toes. Pull them towards your shins. Press your heels away from you slightly. That's it. Now everyone, on the inhale, your torso lifts up, your spine got tall, it lifts away from the floor. On the out breath, it all starts to melt down. Tuck your chin in just a little bit towards your chest so the neck has length. In with the breath. Big sigh. Eyes closed. Turn inward. See the power of the breath. The inhale lengthens you. And the exhalation just melts the upper body a little bit closer toward the floor. The inhale got you a little longer. And the exhale had the upper body surrender. Surrender the exhalation, and the musculature, the tension surrenders itself. To end the practice in a forward bend is such an amazing way to wind down. Wind the nervous system down. You'll probably sleep really well tonight as a result. Bring yourself all the way out onto your back. Come all the way onto your back. If you wanted, you could always set the blocks back up underneath your shoulder blades and your heads like you did in the beginning to do that heart opening pose, or you can just lay flat. And if you decide that the legs aren't comfortable being straight, you can always bend your knees, open your feet wider apart from one another, and just let the knees fold in toward each other. So if you let the knees come together, so make sure your feet are wide enough but still close enough so your knees can reach each other. And then just let your arms slide down near your hips. And with the arms down near your hips, and then the palms roll open. And what you're looking to do is take the arms away from the body in a way where the shoulder blades get to fan across the floor. So then the breath can come in easier in the upper chest. See, you relax the upper mid-back on the ground, and the breath comes in more fluid, less like work in the front. You bring your awareness back to a breath where the belly rises and your belly falls. And you don't have to do it. If you could imagine you were sitting outside yourself, witnessing yourself lying here, you would recognize the body as its own perfect natural skill. I inhale and everything rises. I exhale and everything falls. So ideally, we're just returning back to the breathing that we all used to do as newborns. People say, I can't breathe. What I really say is, you're really not here to learn something new. You're here to get back to something you might have lost. But it's our true wiring. So we've never really strayed that far from it. Or we do, but it doesn't leave us. And the more you just let the breath have its own rhythm, you'll recognize, wow, that's really all I need to settle the mind. Slow my heart down a little bit, my pulse rate, my blood pressure. This practice ends up being like medicine. And we may not like every pose, and the ones we don't really care for are the ones we usually need. Go figure. We all want to be strong, but our body also needs suppleness. And if we don't have any fluid movement in our spine or our hips, our pelvis, it ages us. We lose vitality. And then we start to resist movement. When really our body craves movement. Think about when we were little kids, running around nonstop. And when we haven't moved our body in a while, then our mind resists movement. So we get back into this practice and we start moving the body and we start oiling the joints with breath, kind of like oiling the Tin Man. We come back to life. We recognize there's life inside. A lot of life. And the more you can breathe a little bigger, the more energy you have, physical energy, the more mental alertness, the more settled you feel emotionally. But there's also more hunger for living. In with the breath. Out with it. Hug your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. Roll all the way to your right side. Lift your head up, slide your arms under your head for a pillow, or take a block under your head. Curl up in a nice little ball. Just allow yourself to rest. As you get into moving the body and releasing where it's kind of been held up, you rest even more deeply than you originally did. Many years ago, my Uncle Nick went to see the eminent American writer, Richard Ford. He gave a talk at a bookstore in Washington, D.C. During the question and answer after the reading, a middle-aged man in the audience stood up and said something like this: "Mr. Ford, you and I have much in common. Just like you, I have been writing short stories and novels my whole life. So you and I are about the same age, same background, and we write about the same themes. But the only difference between you and I is that you became a celebrated man of letters, and I, despite decade upon decade of effort, I've never ever been published. And this is heartbreaking to me. My spirit has been crushed by all the rejection and disappointment I've faced trying to write. And I wonder if you have any advice for me. But please, sir, please, I beg you, whatever you do, just don't tell me to persevere. That's the only thing people will ever tell me to do, and hearing it is just making me feel worse." Now, I wasn't there, and I don't know Richard Ford personally, the writer. But according to my uncle, who's a good reporter of things, Ford replied, "Sir, I am terribly sorry for your disappointment. Believe me, I'd never insult you by telling you to persevere. I cannot even imagine the discouraging that you have heard after all those years of rejection. So I will tell you something else, something that might surprise you. Quit. The audience froze. What kind of encouragement was that? Ford went on to say, I say this to you only because writing is clearly bringing you no pleasure. It is only bringing you pain. And our time on earth is so short and should be enjoyed. Leave this dream behind you have of being a writer and find something else to do with your life. Travel, take up new hobbies, and spend time with your family and your friends and just relax. But don't write anymore. It's obviously killing you. And there was a very long silence. But then the writer smiled and said, almost as an afterthought, however, I will say this. If you happen to discover after a few years away from writing that you have found nothing that takes its place in your life, nothing that fascinates you or moves you or inspires you to the same degree that writing once did, well then, sir, I'm afraid you will have no choice but to persevere. Breath in and let go of it, all of it. Press your palms to the floor. Please bring yourself up to seated. Rest your hands on your thighs, palms down. Close your eyes. Just check in with where you are in your head. If it's just a little bit quieter, and you forgot to think for even a second in here, nod your head. Drop down into your heart. Now place your palms on your heart. Literally, your own hands on your own heart. Earlier I said this practice was about you getting a feel for you. But we have to feel our body. When I say get a feel for you, you don't think that. You know it if you feel more in touch with you. And if so, nod your head. If you feel more in touch with you residing in your own body, that is such a game changer because your actions come from a place of more feeling for you in a really healthy, nurturing, positive, friendly way, loving way. Then you put that energy into your life. But you're the source of it, so you have to get connected to it first. And finally, just feel your body. Just feel like I'm in my body. And if so, nod your head. Hands together at the heart. Full breath in. My work is done. Namaste. Your work is done. Namaste. You're welcome. Great work. Really good. Now get out. Yeah. I know, it was just me bringing you back from that altered state, Mary, to get you really like, what did she just say? I'm totally teasing, but yeah.